run also by people, I cannot say their names. If your child did not pass very well, but when as a parent you see that this child can be really a medical doctor, remember when they are writing, something might have happened during the exam time. Maybe they went through a trauma and then they ran blank. When these children are writing, some of them can go under an attack. One point in time, a student screamed, and I also have to scream, running away. And that child is also writing an exam. That child is brilliant. Automatically, he or she is disturbed already. So that can also affect a child. And some children, they don't say it when they come home. They keep quiet that something went wrong. As a result, their results are affected. Let's give them a chance and send them for a metric upgrade. Seek for advice. There are people who do that. I've seen people who had lower marks, but they did it and now they have gone further, much, much, much higher. Another thing, let's help our children in deciding. Let's not wait until they are grade 12. Let's start at grade 10. At grade 10 there, start sending them to extra lesson. From my experience, little experience, from FETs and high schools, grade 10, mathematics, physical science, and life science, send them for extra lessons. Don't wait for grade 12. That is too late to say, Mama, I've got my child at grade 12. Can you please do lessons? It's too late. Bring them at grade 10. And then at grade 10, I can do the basics. They can stand alone. Thank you.
Thank you so much to our parents who gave us such sound advice. But at this moment, I would like to leave time to some of our youths and young adults, whether you are curious about a career, you don't know what to choose. So we are leaving the floor open to you now. Young adults, youth.
Okay, thank you so much. So my question goes to you who is in the humanities field. I'm also in the humanities field and doing my undergrad. So my question is, how did you manage to stay in academia? Like, was it a choice, or what are the challenges that you face in academia that made you like pursue masters throughout PhD?
All right, thank you for your question. So with most humanity subjects, are more of stepping stone degrees. So automatically, they doesn't take you to a specific career. So you then have to choose, for example, you start with a Bachelor of Arts, then you can choose that, okay, maybe I'm interested more in sociology, then you can then move and go to social work. But as for what I did, I always had interest in the academia because I got my degree at the age of 22, so I still had enough time. So by the time I was 29, I already had my PhD. So it was a choice because I had interest and I also had time because I studied early. So it was throughout from first degree through to master's and PhD. So I had time, so that's why I had to choose the academic field.
I still have one more. So I'm studying social work as well. So like for a person who's pursuing social work, where do we draw the line between your passion and actually getting the money? Because usually people just look at people who are studying social work and then they say, the profession is just looked at as like people with good hearts, you're working, and at the end of the day you're burnt out. So where do you draw the line where you say, okay, now I just cannot, because I'm a Christian, I also have to do like good by people. But where do I draw the line and say, okay, this is now time to do business. I want my money.
All right, okay, I don't have much background in social work, but just to guide you. So in terms of social work, so particularly in Africa, of course we do have social work who are doing well in Africa, but because of the nature of the society here in Africa, when someone is having problems, you don't look at it from a social work perspective. They might say, go to your aunt, go to your tete, they can talk to you, but you'd see that if you want to pursue social work in terms of profession and getting paid, you do better when you go maybe overseas. That's my take.
Do we have any more questions from the youths and the young adults? We have a question there.
Thank you very much. I have a question. Some of us who are in tourism and hospitality industry, so according to career guidance that you put there, is it necessary for me to start my own business through my knowledge that I have in tourism and hospitality, or I can upgrade myself to do a degree or a diploma? Thank you.
Yeah, maybe I'll be blunt on this one. My belief is if you find yourself asking people, can I do business? It's not in you. Well, stay away from it, pursue your education and be a worker. Because if you really want to be a businessman, or if you have to be a businessman, there's something in you that speaks business. There's a push, or there's an eye. You always see opportunities and you want to venture into them, and you have limitations. So it's limitations that you can ask, how can I go over this for me to be able to go in? But if you want advice that one can give you to say, no, go into business, I can tell you go into business, because it's good. I wake up the time I want to work as a businessman. I tell my clients what time I'm coming, if it's okay with them. But if you write on that, this is what I said, it's always not good, according to my understanding, for one to write on someone's testimony. You can see life, blinkering good life in those that are in business. But if there is nothing that says business in you, stop it, because you will suffer. That's why we have a lot of people who are said they have degrees and they are not employed, except across Limpopo. But surely this side, one might have chosen a degree just for the name, I have a degree. So you really need to know what you want to do. If you don't have it in you, don't search it in someone, especially business.
That's why how much we are taught about talents. There are some people who never mature in talents. They just refuse to.
More questions?
Thank you so much to our wonderful panelists. I understand you have been talking much about schooling and etc. degrees, but then there are some of us who are more on the hustler's corner. I don't know how best can we also be integrated into the professional spectrum in terms of the small things that we do to earn the small monies that we get. How best also can we develop ourselves into the professional spectrum, because I feel like you are more inclined into the professional spectrum. Thank you.
I think they've been answering that. Maybe, I'm not sure whether we're just following, but I believe that they were trying to answer that. In terms, you're saying that you are in your hustler's corner. Hustler's corner is basically entrepreneurship, right? Because you're an entrepreneur. So if I get your question correctly, maybe if you say you are an entrepreneur, but you're trying to upskill yourself, right? So that would be the genuine question, to say that if you're an entrepreneur. So basically, there will be, I always think that there is no hard rule to say this is how you need to do it. But it is just a matter of finding someone. If you want, like I think that brother was talking about hospitality. Let's say if his question was, I'm in hospitality and I want to upskill myself, how do I do it? It is now the act of saying, okay, Right now, let's say it's in hospitality. It is finding those institutions whereby you can upgrade yourself. If you want to do marketing, there are going to be short courses. And like what Odamropa was saying, that now there is online learning that you can hustle in the afternoon and evening, you can just go and try to further academics. Because what happens sometimes is that you might be a hustler, you might get into certain, sometimes they'll say, okay, we need some sort of proof of your skill of some sort of whatever that you're going to be talking about. So in a way, it's always good to upgrade yourself. Yes, be a hustler, but also have some sort of papers to help you, especially here in South Africa, where we know that you might need some proof of what is you have. So my advice to people in that area is that, yes, hustle, but look for something in the academic, because there's so many, if you look at these online universities, there are so many of them, you can find a course for each and everything that you are doing. It's just a mere fact of asking for the direction to say, okay, how do I do it? And you can definitely find educators who go, oh, no, you are doing this thing. You can definitely do this course. And having is, especially of even in the local church, to say, let's not only do them now where we are seated here, but if they're done on a local level, because right now, not many people are here. Sometimes it has more benefit if maybe there are youth services and these things are done there at the seminars, there at the local churches. Thank you so much.
And maybe just to add on a little bit, that as you hustle, if your hustling is legit and genuine, try to have it registered. Registering a company costs less than 200 rand if you do it yourself. But if you are lazy to do it yourself, you can get somebody hustling. When you get contracts, it's easy because people want people with papers. You are doing this for it. So you're being used by people because you are a hustler. You do the work, you don't have papers. I've registered myself, I used to make money from you. You do the dirty work, I get the big money. So let's wise up, register your hustling business, throw in your tenders, look for money. Don't be used by other people. Don't pursue other people's dreams. Pursue your own personal dreams. Thank you.
Just to top up, if there's no one who wants to talk about company registrations, you can just talk to me, because you know it's quite simple. To get a tax number and registration, it takes at most 3 days. So just formalizing whatever that you want to do is very, very easy in South Africa. You don't need a permit for that. All you need is just a passport. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This one I might direct to Tadiwa. What are the impacts? When I've got a child, I've got a son who's doing grade 10. But I know he's very good on mathematics, science, and whatever he's doing. But I want him to do something in advance to the university in a short course. So is it good to advise him to do that, or I wait until we finish grade 12, especially on the side of the IT? I'm not sure I heard my question.
I think from what I'm understanding is that you're saying that your son is good at mathematics, but you'd want him to do courses or short courses that supplement the maths that he's already good at. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct, yes. But in a higher education like university, but he's still on the lower level of the grade 10 to the higher education. But I want to do in the university in advance.
Okay, I think the first thing is to realize that his focus now has to be on getting his education and making sure that his marks are good for university. But if he can manage, you can definitely enroll him. I know, for example, like some kids, they are very good and gifted at mathematics and science. So what we often do is that they enroll them for courses such as coding, because nowadays basic skill, so they will enroll them while they are still in the younger grades, so that by the time when they get to university, these things become easier for them. So I'm not sure if that is where you'd want it to head, but it's always advisable just to see if he can manage. Then I can definitely say you can go it.
Thank you so much. That's very true. But we also need to look at the other aspect and try to avoid burning out the child. It's not easy having maybe 10 subjects that you're doing in academics, then you need to also start part-time. Kids are kids. They also need time to play around. So as we endeavor and wish them to excel, let's not also destroy them. One, two. Right. Amen. It has been sorted out. Thank God we've artisans. They've jumped in. So don't worry. We're fully. The electricians are doing